Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shemaya. This is the MeWe Metaphysics and Wellness Fairs and events for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We have events throughout the Northwest and many online. We interview our practitioners and vendors to enable you to get a sense of who we are before you meet us at an event. I'm thrilled today to be interviewing Given Davis. Given, it's lovely to be with you.
Thank you so much for having me, Lorelei.
You are welcome. So what is it that you offer at our events?
Well, I'm the owner of Blooming Fire Healing in Portland, Oregon, and what I offer is both tarot as well as energy.
Great, great. So tell me a bit about both of those, like what's your style of tarot, what cards do you use, and tell me about your energy work and how do you integrate them, etc.
Absolutely. For tarot, folks tend to come to me when they are at a particular crossroad in their life, usually a larger life transition. And I love being able to help steward folks through that moment. So my style is very eclectic. I love flowing with the conversation and really flowing with the energy that's offered. And I love, love, love options. So I tend to use a number of decks. And in front of me, you can see some of my favorite that tend to make an appearance during sessions. I use the Ghetto Tarot, which is a beautiful photograph deck that is one of
Oh,
my favorites.
great.
Um, uh, that was a collaboration between a German photographer and an artist collective in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, as well as the Way Home Tarot, which is a little bit more fun and bright and light, as
Mm.
well as a local to Portland one, the Portland Collective Tarot, which features art from a number of folks around the Pacific Northwest, Bay Area, and I believe a couple of folks in New York as well. And some of the oracle decks that I use, which do change out, I decided to utilize the majors that show up in the Dreams of Gaia deck because I really like how they're represented. It's really different from a lot of other decks. So I pulled those out and I utilized them as an oracle deck on their own. One of my favorites, I am a child of the 90s, so I love a CD, and this one is called the Soundtrack Oracle from Kaleidodope, black-owned card maker out of Baltimore, who is delightful, as well as this very pretty collage deck, Messages of the Divine, which is just stunning. And I really love the colors and the tones that they offer. So generally when I'm working with someone, I ask them to, we do a little bit of a grounding first as our way of meeting in space, and then trusting their intuition, trusting that inner wisdom that of course they're coming with to select what most resonates with them for that day. And as far as energy work, I am trained as a Holy Fire Reiki master teacher. So I do have that skill set as well as a lot of intuitive energy work that I like to fine tune for the specific individual with whom I'm sharing space time and really helping to facilitate to move towards during our time together.
Do you sort of intuitively, energetically pick up what energy work would be supportive? Does it come through the cards also? Like how does that?
That's definitely a blend of things. The way my intuition tends to work is, oh, we'll be using water today. And I will take that information, usually look for confirmation in the reading itself. It's like cups all over the place. We are definitely in a heart space and that emotional space. So then we'll dive into that, as well as a little bit of journeying into maybe some areas in the body that are wanting some attention to the body and the energetic fields.
Mhm, mhm. Are you able to do the energy work online as well, or do you only do that in person?
Mhm. I've been doing that online as well as a little less so in person these days, but my work has been for the most part about 95% virtual for the last year and some change, let's say.
Right, right. Great, great. How did you get started doing all of this?
Well, I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and there was a small shop in town, not so small these days, called the Aquarian Bookshop, if I'm remembering correctly. And I loved wandering through, and I started taking a workshop here, a workshop there on crystals, on grounding, on tarot, and taking part in the weekly meditation workshops. And I was in a different small bookshop, and I found a used tarot deck. And I don't even remember the name of it. It was of such a small run, I believe made in the 70s or 80s. And it was full of abstract images. But what I loved about my first deck is that it offered these focus and discussion questions on the back. So it does lead me towards wanting to engage my own curiosity and that of the folks with whom I'm working as part of my style.
Mhm, mhm. Great, great. And then did it just sort of blossom, like you continued to learn more things and just like more decks and more readings, and it just sort of bloomed into business for you?
More decks, more readings. I was also, I probably still am, a fairly socially awkward individual. So I would carry my decks with me, and I'd be at a coffee shop thumbing through them, and somebody's like, "Oh, what do you have over there?" And so I would start setting up a little table with my cards and just waiting to see who was drawn or interested. And I would start reading, and I just kept doing this over years and years and years. And before you know it, it's been about 14 or so of those.
Wow. Yeah, great, great. Well, if people
And
want to learn,
similar with,
oh, go ahead. Similar to.
and as a saying, similar start with energy work as well. It was one of those, the phenomena where you keep seeing the word all over the place, and Reiki, 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 Reiki was just all over my consciousness. And I'm, well, I think that small bookshop that I love haunting myself already as it was a free 15-minute session with a local Reiki master. And I sat down in the chair. I was so excited for my first experience of that. And I was so moved by feeling something that I felt to be possible
Mhm,
all along.
mhm,
So it was kind of like little magic Christmas for me.
mhm. Wow.
And it just kept going from there.
So do people come to you for all kinds of different topics? Are there themes?
Um, what's going on these days? A lot of work transitions for folks, a lot of family healing, getting in touch with ancestors, seeking guidance to connect with those beings, with those energies who are already surrounding us.
Yeah,
So I love
great,
being able to offer that.
great. Well, if people want to get in touch with you, if they want to learn about more, if they want to learn more about you on the web, where do they go?
Folks can find me at bloomingfirehealing.com, as well as on Instagram at bloomingfirepdx.
Okay, great. And that's blooming like BLOOM, right?
Yep, you've got it.
Great. All right. Well, I'm excited to have more people experience your work and have you integrated in all of our events. And for all of you listening and watching, you can learn more about our events at mewefairs.com, MEWEFAIRS.com. See you soon. Thanks so much, Given.
Thank you.